Oops.
The host has started broadcasting the meeting on
So
Facebook.
she's one law student, Miss Anshul. She
Okay.
is,
Anshul, right?
yes, Miss Anshul. She is a fourth year student from MIT Manisa. She's a law student.
Okay.
Also, just wait for 2 minutes. Principal ma'am is trying to join. She's unable to join. So let me just check with the technical issue.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Hello, Principal Ma'am, Miss Anju. Could you please tell me by which name you are joining this meeting? If you can hear me out, please text in the chat box. I request Principal Ma'am, Miss Anju, please drop a text in the chat box by which name you have joined this meeting because we are unable to find you. Oh, okay. I request Principal Ma'am to please switch on your video if you are. Hello, good evening, ma'am. You're not audible. Could you please turn on your mic? I request Team Edudevs, please check if there's some technical glitch.
iPad is the co-host now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Now you're audible. Good evening,
But
ma'am.
I'm not able. Good evening. I'm not able to open the video actually. To start the video, it's saying the host has. Now I think it's there. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Now you're visible.
Yeah. Now, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're
Yes.
audible.
Yes. Actually, there is network issue also. So
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Due to heavy rainfall, I think there's some network issue.
lot of.
Yes.
So-
I request Miss Anshul as well to please switch on your video. Miss Anshul, are you there? Hello, good evening, Lakshmi ma'am. How are you?
Hi, Shikha. Good evening.
Miss Anshul, are you there?
Oh, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Okay, I think we are good to start with the session now. So I hand over mic to Sudhir sir to continue with the session.
Yes. Is there one more person? Gunjan sir, I think. Principal.
Actually, she had last minute meeting. She informed me. So she might be joining, I think, little bit late, around 4:20 or 4:25. She informed.
Okay. Sure. Okay then. Then I will take it over. Thank you, Shekhar. So a warm welcome to all the students, teachers, parents, whoever is there. Today we will be discussing about an interesting topic, very much in demand thing in current education space, because the modern educational landscape is all about integrating technology tools and how this integration process can bring out a change in the way a student learn, in the way a teacher teaches in the classroom. So it has lots of opportunities, applications, platforms designed for this immersive and more personalized learning experience can be given. So all the educators today are trying to adapt to this educational oriented, technology oriented tools. How much faster they can adapt, or how can they include this in their curriculum? How can they use this in the regular classroom, and what are the benefits of it? There are lot of uncharted territories in this domain, because still, as far as I know, all the teachers or educators, our actual struggle is to cover the syllabus, and I know it's a very less time they get to spend with their students and all. So in this busy schedule, in this hectic schedule, how they are going to implement something new, which is very much essential this in this current scenario. As a 21st century kid, every student should be able to, for example, recently CBSE launched, CBSE passed a policy where every school should implement AI and data science oriented subjects in their class curriculums. So these kind of policies are coming up on a day-to-day life, but how well equipped, how much accessibility is there with the teachers, for, or how many people actually aware of the tools? What are the things that can do to gamify the learning experience using these technology-oriented tools, or how much access they can give? Because how much ever we discuss about technology and so-called new tools, but there is a digital divide, and the students are coming from a diverse background, diverse learning styles. How effective and engaging it will be for these students? And I know it's a very hard task in terms of implementing this and executing this, but I just want to know from our panelists, like what kind of things they have done, what kind of feedback, and what kind of real-time feedback about these things, or what they have been doing in their schools in these lines. I just want to know their perspective and their thoughts. So before going into that, I'm Sudhir. I'm the Deputy Manager of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Directorate of Admissions, your host and moderator for the day. So I'm delighted to welcome you all for this new episode of Futuristic Education, a web series completely dedicated to education. It's an Edudevs initiative in association with our prestigious institute, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. The main aim is to empower the trends, the challenges, the opportunities that are there in the education space. Okay, today we have
Sir, sorry to,
representatives.
I kindly request to please, the participants are requesting because they are unable to hear your voice. If you can little bit increase your pitch
Yes,
so
yes,
that.
yeah, sure. So these today we have representatives from a city of Lucknow. So our edu leaders today who are present can voice their views on this issue, which I have quoted before. And without further ado, like let me quickly introduce our esteemed and special panel today. We have with us a principal ma'am, Ms. Anju Sanyal ma'am, Indus International Academy. So welcome, ma'am. A warm welcome to you. So, and we have with us Lakshmi Madhavan. She is the assistant manager and academic mentor in Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. Warm welcome to you also, Lakshmi ma'am. Okay. So let me start the session with a small pretext, or to set the tone of the stage about your views or about your ideology. So if I want to start with this, I will just start with first Lakshmi ma'am, then I will go to Anju ma'am. So first, I just want to ask you, Lakshmi, like, how do you see this educational technology impacting the way students engage with their learning? But I want the perspective of a person who is working in a higher academic institute like Amrita, like how the university has adapted it, or if you saw any schools with whom you are interacting it, how they are adapting it. Can you just share some insight on how this impact is happening in this usage of educational technology? How much engagement and learning is exactly happening through this?
So hi everyone. Very happy evening. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are
Yes.
audible.
Oh, thank you. So yes. So coming to today's topic of discussion, it's something which is very much relevant We all need to have an understanding what all things we should consider, how technology can be integrated into our curriculum. So there are a lot of discussions or debates which is happening. It's a positive, it's a negative. But what we educators can focus is on understanding how it can be used so that it could be an assistant for us as teachers to help our students in different ways. So technology is something, now the learning has changed or the teaching has changed. It's not something that is there in our classroom. It can be done from any part of the world. Your student can be in the home, you are in the office, you are in your home. So it's like this is happening only because of the technology. So technology, the educational technology, all the apps, all the devices, everything is here to improve the student interaction, to improve the collaboration, how to enhance the student learning. So as an educator, we have to use this technology so that we'll be able to help our students. So coming to a university which mostly works on the STEM, we're mostly focusing on the science, tech, and engineering background. So here we have, I would say, it's an always updated curriculum, and we have different branches. I would like to recollect something. It's AI and data science, which is a brand which we have started recently. I think just 1 year, that's the time. So they are having, or they came up with some concept called lab in a pocket. So for the electronic students, as well as the computer science students, for chemistry students, physics students, they can do experiments with simple devices. We have different devices called ADLM, which can be used for an electronic student, which provides them or allows them to do experiments related to communication sector. We have a DNA sequencer, which helps the students in the bio field to work on it. So how it is impacting us, it's always impacting in a positive way. So the important point is how we are educators are taking it, how we are understanding it, how we are making the parents understand about it, how we are teaching our kids to use it. These are the ways, and it's always positive. So thank you. I hope I have answered the query.
Yes, Lakshmi, you have answered. I know it is an easy task because as a person working in a higher academic institute, maybe you have the resources, you have the tools, you have the right personnel to implement these tools in an easy way. You can give lots of examples, I know, but I want to get the insights from I think Anju ma'am. What challenges educators might face, because I want to ask this question is, ma'am is on ground working with students on a day-to-day life, and she can give us a better perspective, like what challenges might educators face when implementing these kind of technologies in the classroom. Hello,
Yes,
ma'am.
it's a pleasure for
Yes.
me to be a part of this discussion, and I'm thankful to Devyani ma'am for connecting me to such good educators, informative webinar. I would like to say to this point then that today's time is a hybrid learning. As you know, the classrooms, of course, when it is offline, children are there in the class. And now smart classes are all there in all the schools. Projectors are being used for the children. And children, they have so many ways of informing themselves, getting the notes, you can say, the information for the subjects, the references which they have. But I would like to say for this is that hybrid learning, it is a complex combination of face-to-face and online learning, right? And this virtual, if you say, the artificial intelligence, which is employed face-to-face method along with this, and that aims to investigate using the artificial intelligence to increase the student engagement in the hybrid learning. See, today's time is not that pen and pencil and paper, and not that chalk and duster type. Children, they want something new in their classes. Practically, you can engage the children in the class using the modern technology, because as you must be aware of, children, now they are using this mobiles. There was a time when mobiles were not allowed inside the class. And nowadays, most of the work is done on the mobiles. So somewhere this examines the advantages and disadvantages of this type of hybrid learning, which results in the artificial intelligence as far as in the educational settings concerned. Secondly, the research which findings have suggested by many scholars that using the artificial intelligence in the class, of course, can revolutionize this type of the traditional way of teaching into the 21st century learning skills, which we all, in all the schools, which the teachers, they are focusing. And also in the national education policy, government has also introduced, and it is a techno combined with the traditional way of the teaching and learning skills. The 21st century learning skill itself involves the technology, which has to be in the online education. And after this COVID-19 online process of the education, this particular artificial intelligence has somewhere has driven the broad implementation of the different formats which has been used by the teachers and the educators in their online education to the children. And students, they are engaged, they feel interesting somewhere in the class. Yes, of course, it all depends on the teacher, how the teacher introduces the topic and the chapter. But as far as the artificial intelligence and ChatGPT and many more, the Google, students have comparatively increased their boundaries of education, which there was a time where children were not involved and go the global. They are thinking globally and they are connected. But yes, of course, I must say that there are many if and buts in the classrooms and outside the classrooms. The children, they do find somewhere network issues, connectivity, and many more things, which the things does matter, like how the availability of the things that should be there with the children as far as the connectivity with the artificial intelligence, like when you use it for the education, somewhere the proper utilization of the whole network issues does matter. And so what I feel, artificial intelligence, today's time, students, and there is a drastic, revolutionary way of teaching nowadays. Both the educators and the students, they both have to upgrade themselves as far as the new technology coming every day. So for me, it is a must for all the educators to upgrade themselves and learn all the 21st century learning skills which they want the students to know for the upgradation and upliftment of their students. And yes, of course, technology is changing every day. New things are coming. And today, there was a time when Google was so popular, encyclopedia and Wikipedia, all these things were so, popular amongst the students. But after that, with there are so many other things also coming after this. ChatGPT is the most recent part. And for this, I must say that the schools and institutions, they are introducing artificial intelligence in almost all the classrooms, all the subjects, I must say. But somewhere few are able to get the benefit, and there should be an equal distribution of taking the most out of these. And the students who are involved in this, educators must upgrade the teachers, because somewhere the children are of the 21st century, and the teachers have to also upgrade themselves to teach the students of today's time. And in the artificial intelligence, of course, I must say that with the subject, this particular network connectivity oriented, I must say, of the technology of today's time, as far as the new education policy is concerned, it is a techno connected, and almost all the fields, all the things, whether that is any subject, that is most connectivity is most with the technology. So what I feel,
Yes.
Children must get proper information and proper way of using this artificial intelligence. And with this, there will be one time coming that children will be more than the technology of today. What I feel, that's because if you see the children of today's in the schools, they are so intelligent, so bright, their mind is so sharp, and as you get the feedback from the students, you get to learn so many things from the student itself. You just have to tell them, and then rest they do it on their own. So what I feel, we need to encourage the students of today's, and of course there will be a day come when India will be flooded with so many intelligent people all around.
Yes. Actually, thank you, ma'am, for sharing those insights. Actually, it made me remember some of the nice quotations, like the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. This is the main thing as a educator or student in this 21st century need to do, and you have explained it very effectively, because integrating technology into curriculum involves more than simply using or knowing how to use these tools. It requires teachers also to have a sense in blending this with the existing curriculum and optimizing the teaching and learning methodologies. That's very well said, man. But before going into that, I just want to ask the participants, how many of you have used ChatGPT in your day-to-day life or your professional life? Can you just raise your hands? I just want to see, because I saw a question also, how many of you saw or used a ChatGPT platform for your benefit? Can you raise your hand? I just want to see how many of you have at least used it currently, ChatGPT. Can you just let me know how many of you? Please raise your hand. Okay, not yet. Okay, only 1, 2, yes. Okay, 3, general. Okay. See, the thing is today, I'll give you an example why these tools are very much effective before we go into the next set of questions. I know a student who is here in our university. He used ChatGPT to make his PhD thesis in 1 or 2 days. Usually a PhD thesis will be taking a 3 months time, 4 months time. You need to write a lot of things in that material and cross-check it, verify it, then only you can submit. But today, a PhD student used ChatGPT, just gave the proper settings and required inputs to that. It gave his whole PhD thesis in 1 hour. The technology usage, now a student who is studying in higher education, we don't know he is using ChatGPT to do the homework. He can do it in instant. No need to work on it on days. No need to worry about it if he doesn't know the solution. So the impact is going to be huge in the coming days in the education sector with this kind of tools, and it's easy to use. Using ChatGPT is not a hard task. It's like how you create your Gmail account. You just go and create your account and you just feed the required instructions. It will automatically share the content according to your needs. Okay, so then let's move on to the next part of the discussion. We have one of our young panelists, our student who is Anshul, and she will be asking some questions based on the student perspective in integrating this technology. Anshul, I think you can take over and ask your perspective based questions to our esteemed panelists who are available today. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anshul, and I'm currently a law student at Amrita University, Manasa. So my first question, I would like to address this question to Ms. Anju. In the context of remote and hybrid learning, what strategies do you recommend for maintaining a sense of community and active participation among students using educational technology?
Yes, Anshul, I do agree that ChatGPT, Google, all these are informative for all the students. But somewhere what I feel, I don't know whether you'll agree with me or not, getting the information so quick. And there was a time when people were used to read so many books and gathering the information from a lot of books, right? So there is a vast difference between gathering anything and like so many notes, consult the books. There was a time, and right now you are getting the information ready mode. And so somewhere the cognitive development of the students lacks. I hope you understand what I mean to say, that when you say cognitive development, it has a holistic development of a child. Somewhere the technology is binding the child to stay within that boundaries. What I mean to say is there should be a openness in thinking. In thinking, somewhere the thinking capacity of a student lacks, because the boundary of the child is restricted between that information which a child is getting from a ready-made information. And where you work to get the information has the several branches working in your brain to get that particular thing. If a person needs to know something about one thing, there was a time that there were so many things connected to that particular topic, and the person gets to learn so many other things along with this. With ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, of course, this is technology based, but somewhere the cognitive development and the psychology of a child is restricted with only that if the person is not getting the net, if the person is not able to handle the technology, the knowledge which is supposed to the person or the students get to know has got the boundaries connected with it. There are certain things which a person has to know. Then, there is a restriction and the boundary, circulating the whole brain of that child. So somewhere technology is very high, and students are using information in a quick manner. You are able to get the things. But what I feel, introducing technology in the education still have some limitations. And this limitation has to be dealt in future. Like whatever limitations we have right now, like there was a time, if you remember, there was a Nokia. If you remember, the mobile was Nokia. Then several inventions, several things were done. And then gradually the mobile is also upgraded, isn't it? In the same way, human beings are also upgrading along with the technology. So somewhere the foundation, or you can say the whole set of things have to be changed with the learning skills as far as the human beings are concerned. I hope I have query.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I had another question. I would like Miss Lakshmi, ma'am, to answer this question. Okay, what advice would you give to students who want to take a proactive role in utilizing technology to enhance their own learning experience?
So I hope I'm audible
Yes, ma'am.
because the
you are.
network is low, so that's why I'm saying yeah. Okay. So with all the educators who are here, I know the principals, the teachers, everybody might be really confused. You are in a stage like you want to select one technology for your students. You don't know which technology. If some error or something happens, you don't know how to rectify it. You don't know how you're going to study that so that you'll be able to make the process flawless. You'll be able to help the kids. So the education is in a revolutionizing stage. So maybe after 2 years, we'll come over this and we'll have the technology. It's easy for everyone, every teacher to use. So as a kid or as kids, we feel like, yeah, they are above us. They know everything. They are, it's like being born in this age. They know what to use, how to use and all. So when it's used in the right form, maybe you are a student, you may be studying a lot of online courses. Maybe you are keeping yourself updated, maybe about the different technologies, getting certified in different areas, which you feel like, yeah, it's something that interests me. It's something that excites me. So to the students who feel like, yeah, I want to utilize this technology, I want to get the benefit, you have to use it in the best way. There are different options. I would say, if you are a first year student of maybe any course, you have to understand, you have selected one course, you know, there might be some areas which is very close to your course. So maybe if it's engineering, if it's electronics, I have some areas and I know what all advancements are coming in that sector. So I have to be clear in that particular aspect. I have to set up some goals in that particular aspect and I have to start achieving it. It's like the online learning platforms, the Khan Academy, the Coursera, everything. I would say n number of platforms are there. So you need to explore each and every platform, and even most of them are free also in the online courses. So explore each and every platform, spend 5 to 6 hours studying something. If you feel like this is not something that you want, there are other platforms. So try to explore, collect, it's like analyze yourself, how you feel when you have studied that thing. Do you want it to be your area? Do you want to change? If you want to change also, switching is easy. So learn, exercise that process, utilize all these devices. It's like in our university, I would say we allow all these devices. So during the class time, it's like some of the students have started taking the notes online. It's like they have their devices and they're taking the class notes in their devices. That is also something which is possible with the help of technology. But the most important part is being responsible citizens. That is something which is you really need to care about. Second one is balancing the time, the screen time, and balancing the other activities also. That is something which is important. So you just have to accept it. You just have to navigate through it, identify which is okay for you, and then start updating yourself. Being able to accept the things, start doing only, then you will be able to be a person who has an idea about the technologies, about the new areas and all. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I think Thank you.
I
Thank you, Anshul. I think you have one more question.
Yes, I would like to
Yeah.
address this question too. Okay, can you elaborate on the concept of gamification in education and how does it contribute to student engagement?
Yeah, see, the gamification of this teaching or learning happens when we completely understand how this technology is effectively integrated. Because, as ma'am also told, we all think about using the technology or looking at the technology as a tool. But there are three aspects in using this technology, then only the gamification happens. For example, the first aspect which I want to talk about is learning from technology, where technology provides the curriculum and resources or whatever material you want to go ahead. So that is learning from technology. That is first aspect. The second aspect is learning about technology, where technology is the curriculum, because we are learning about a tool, we are learning about a new innovation or new software. So learning about the technology, where technology is the curriculum. The third part is learning with technology. When we reach this part, then only the gamification happens, because all we think about as of now, or all we are worrying about, is about the first two parts, which is learning from technology or learning about the technology. Because all the teachers or a student, all of them are currently learning about how the tool works or what we can learn from the tool. But learning with the tool is the very much important task. Once this happens, the gamification of these things, learning or teaching, will happen. And the aspect of gamification can be happening in a lot more ways, because I know a lot of tools where they provide math games or bubbling a balloon in a software, where it can give me or add me numbers or minus the number. There are math, students in kindergarten can learn about math using these things. So that is one aspect of gamification. Why it is very much essential is, today not every student is comfortable with the single learning pace. They want to have, or they will have different needs and different learning paces. So where this kind of tools can provide the teaching and can provide the learning in a more effective and self-paced manner. So the whole gamification is about involving the students more in the classroom and making them very much interested. Because I know a student who, when a holiday comes, if my dad used to say go out and play, I won't feel any burden. I will do it for the whole day during my school days. Because if somebody asks me to sit and read for 1 hour, I'll feel it as a burden. So whenever this gamification happens, it's like they're playing a game and learning things. So usually the current 21st century students will be more engaged or will be learning more through these kind of gamification process. There are a lot of examples. Maybe some people will say, how can I gamify English? There are tools for that. How can I gamify social science? There are tools for that. So for everything, there are tools. That the only thing missing is in more exploration by teachers first is required. So that is what is essential. First, we need to understand what is required, what is the learning objective, what kind of things a student should learn from this so-called topic or so-called thing. Then it's automatically will happen. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Anshul. I hope I have answered your question, and thank you, ma'am. I think we have got insights about how we can do it, what are the challenges, and in the context of this hybrid learning, also what strategies we need to maintain. These kind of inputs also you got, and Lakshmi ma'am also told the advisors that are her insights about how students can take a more proactive role in utilizing technology and all. But before I end this, or before we come to a conclusion, I just want both of our panelists to say a final concluding note to all our eagerly waiting audience. What do you think, or where do you think this integration of technology will take us in the coming years? Or do you think it's going to change the way our teachers teach, or what kind of uh, uh, a future we will have in education space? Why I'm asking this question is because I also went through COVID time. During COVID time, all the educators adapted using Zoom or so-called virtual teaching platforms. But today, the current scenario, with the investments the school they have adapted to online teaching methodologies and all. So, what kind of impact these industries had, and how they are adapting to this technological boom, and what kind of new technologies they are implementing it? It happened with us a huge fast-paced manner. All we are discussing about is we are pushed forward in terms of using technology into 10 years. Only education industry is pushed forward 10 years. Why not other industry? Do you know how much forward it had happened? What impact it will have in terms of skill gap, or are we able to catch that? So please share us your final note on how this is going to benefit us, how this is going to change the way we teach, or where we are going to reach with this kind of advancement. I think first we can go with Anju ma'am. You can just share your insight and final note on this. Hello, ma'am. Anju
Ma'am,
ma'am.
Principal ma'am, are you there? Anshu ma'am? Edudevs team, please check. She text which that she unable to open her video. Could you please check what's the issue?
She is not the host.
Okay,
Can
so
I?
till then we can take the question from the participants. There is one question from Miss Ritu. She has asked, request you to mention some tools for senior students to teach English.
I'm not able to open the video. Can you please help
Now,
me in the video?
Sure, ma'am. Today's team, I request you to please check with this issue why principal ma'am is unable to open her video.
So I think I'll be able to cover up some tools. So the tools will be based on the age of the kids. It's like for the kindergarten kids, for the 12 kids, everything has to be different. It should be based on their age, or which topic or which area that they want to study. Okay. So I'll provide initially two platforms which provides a very good interaction when it comes to, very good idea when it comes to the subject called mathematics. So when we go for tuitions in the earlier times, when there is a question where I want to find out something like, this is how many times of this. So when I'm doing it, if something goes wrong, how a teacher will give that attention? They'll say, this is not the way in which you have to do. This is the correct thing. That this formula is wrong. You have to use this formula. So there are two platforms which you can just note. First one is Mathia and second one is Newton. These two platforms you can just introduce to your kids who are really into that science or the mathematics part. They can use this platform where there is a tutor. The technology will act as a tutor who will give you comments on how to answer a problem. It will give you the feedbacks on when you just do a step wrong. It will provide you an idea on what you have to do. Whether you have done a statement wrong, whether you have named sum wrong, it will give you an idea. So these two platforms are really useful for the kids who wish to study the mathematics. I'll type the names in the chat box itself. Then we all know about the Duolingo platform, which is for exclusively for the languages, which everybody feels like, I want to be having a basic idea about that language, then this platform can be used. So I'll surely type the names of them in the chat box. Yes, just hold on for a moment.
Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am. Thank you so much for answering this question. There's one more question in the chat box. Is it possible to show a specific example of using AI in the classroom? Could you just name few AI tools or how to use AI in the classroom? I repeat the question. Is it possible to show a specific example of using AI in the classroom?
Lakshmi, you want to take that? What should I tell?
Yes, you can.
See, I'll say the tools as of now, Lakshmi told. So integrating teaching into classroom right now is a very hard task. Why? Because as I told before in the starting of this session, so as a teacher, we have very less time to work on the objectives and think of a tool that can bring out the exact objectives and all. We can use these tools in assessments. Actually, it's very easy to use these tools in assessments. I have lots of tools names because it will take at least 30 minutes time to showcase the tool. So what kind of assessments tools are there is like, for example, if you want to conduct a quiz, this quiz can be online. Quiz can be done using a mobile phone where the feedback is instant, where the marks are instant, because the main headache of a teacher today is to correct the question papers, give them the question papers, upload these marks into an Excel and report card. Once you use these assessment tools, you will have more time to focus on integrating this technology in an effective way and in a faster way. Okay, so usually what we try to do in and present about it in the computer in the computer with an example, and ask them to search, do a rigorous search in online, and ask them to present it where they are using lots of tools which are available online, and making a conclusive document and presenting it. There are a lot of skills that can improve in this activity. Okay, it's not a specific tool that you can simply plug and play while integrating this technology. That's what I have been telling about. It's a continuous effort from a teacher. Actually, integrating technology is having more work for teachers than the students, actually, because students today are already smart. They already know about the technology. They can easily understand what's happening. Okay, it's all required is, as a teacher, how much knowledge you have about the tool. So Mathia tool, I think Lakshmi, you have shared the tool. Maybe I will share the link of the
Yes,
tool.
I have shared the names also. Okay.
Okay, so I'll just share that Mathia tool. So this is one such tool where you can use it and you can just check it, what all you can do. This is one such platform for maths. There are lots of platforms. Maybe we will share it. We'll send a mail to all of you about these tools after this session. We have a proper PPT also, what kind of assessment tools that are there today. A teacher can use it and teacher can straight away implement it in the classroom. Yes.
Thank you so much for answering the question. Now we'd request Principal Ma'am, if she is there in the meeting, to give 2-minute closing statement for today's webinar. Anju ma'am, are you there in the meeting? I think she is not there. So I request all the participants to please fill the feedback form which has already been uploaded in the chat box. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Anshul, for joining the session. And at last, I would request Edudevs team to please audio visual promotional video of Edudevs. Please, Edudevs team, please play the video. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us
Yes,
for
thank you,
today's.
everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thank you.